Right, guys, Man City have just beaten Everton by a goal to nil. Now, I'm just going to put a picture up right now, so it should be about here. How on earth is this not handball? It is literally the very definition of a handball. So Rodri has seen the ball come down from the air. It's bounced on the ground, and he's allowed it to bounce up and hit him on the arm. He has plenty of time to move his arm out of the way and stop this from happening, but it still isn't given as a handball. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Man City, they get all their decisions the right way, because it's not just Man City. It is the bigger teams. It is Liverpool too. It is Chelsea too at times. And also generally a 50-50 decision, which this one isn't even 50-50 if we're being honest. It seems to be going towards the bigger teams, and that happens, it seems, all the time. I can name multiple occasions it's happened with Man City this season. I can name multiple occasions it's happened with my team, Liverpool. I can name occasions it's happened with Chelsea too. And I'm starting to genuinely wonder if there is some sort of, I don't know, corruption. I'm not saying there is, but if you're not open to the idea that if you believe there can never ever be corruption in football, then you're stupid. It's happened on many occasions before, where teams have given something towards the referee. You scratch my back sort of situation. And yeah, I'm genuinely starting to wonder if that is the case at times in football. I don't think it is, but I wouldn't be that shocked anymore with what's happening in football at the moment if that was the case. But anyway, into today's game. First half, I was surprised by Everton. I genuinely thought they were probably the better side in the first half. It's certainly towards the end of the half, from about the 20th minute onwards, it took a bit of time to get going, but Everton seemed to have the better of the chances. Richarlison had a good chance, and so did John Joe Kenny. He had a decent half chance as well. They just couldn't take them, which Everton really needed to get an early goal in this game if they were to stand a chance. But yeah, City first half really struggled to create chances, and I think, to be honest, they didn't create many chances in the second half either. There was a moment where Pickford made a really good double save from De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. But other than that, I'm genuinely struggling to think of times where Man City came ridiculously close to scoring. There wasn't all that many opportunities. The goal came from a big defensive error from Michael Keane. He got caught really flat-footed, tried to flick of right foot the ball, and completely missed the ball, and it fell to Phil Foden. He just had to take a touch and put it past Jordan Pickford. It was the easiest goal Phil Foden's ever going to score, really. But yeah, I mean, it's a great win for City, because they didn't play great today. They were a lot better second half than they were first, but overall it wasn't what you'd call a vintage Manchester City performance. But they still got the win away at a tough ground to get the win at. But having said that, 5 minutes to go, that has to be a penalty. I can think of occasions this week where bigger teams have had it go their way. And I'm not even talking about 50-50 decisions here. I'm on about times where it's a fairly obvious decision. Like in Liverpool v Leeds in the week, the third goal that Liverpool scored from the penalty where Mane was allegedly fouled by, I think it was Luke Ayling. That's never a penalty. Luke Ayling brushes Mane's shoulder. It's not enough to bring Mane down in a million years. But it was still given, and Mo Salah converted the penalty. That shouldn't have been a penalty. But tonight, it was a blatantly obvious penalty. The level of refereeing at the moment in the Premier League is just ridiculous. And it's not even just the referees today, it's VAR as well. How on earth VAR aren't seeing that is beyond me as well. It's like Bill Shankly used to say. Like, I was going to say what Bill Shankly used to say, but that doesn't really apply in this case. He used to say they know the rules, but they don't know the game. But yeah, I guess that doesn't really apply because they don't even know the rules at this point. For Paul Tierney, I can think of multiple occasions this season where he's made shocking decisions. So for me, he shouldn't be refereeing in the Premier League. Yeah, Everton, I guess, with this performance, it is a performance that they can build on because it was a good performance. They possibly unlucky to not get a draw out of this. If they hadn't had that one moment of a lapse in concentration and defence, then it could have been they could have got a draw or possibly a win if the referees had given the right decision. Yeah, and they're 17th at the moment. They're a point above Burnley, so they're far from safe. But with performances like today, they definitely stand a good chance of staying up this season. For Man City, they just need to make sure they win every single game up until they play Liverpool on, I think it's April the 9th, because that is going to be a massive game in determining who wins the Premier League this season. Because Chelsea have fallen away massively, and it's now a two-horse race between Manchester City and Liverpool. As you can see as well, I've also got a new addition to the setup, if you like. I've got a whiteboard just to write the score down because I thought the background in these videos was a bit dull. So as you can see, Man City beat Everton 1-0. My prediction for this game was actually 2-0 City. I thought it was going to be slightly more straightforward. But Everton had some really good performers today. Donny van der Beek and Allen, I thought in midfield, played exceptionally well. Richarlison did quite well today at just like pestering Ruben Diaz and Aymeric Laporte at the back. But Man City today just wasn't a great performance again. There were a few good players. Cancelo had a decent game, I guess. De Bruyne looked like he was trying to make things happen. Same with Phil Foden. But yeah, John Stones was also quite good as well. But a lot of the other players, it was quite an average game for most of them. But yeah, there is also a bigger topic that I do want to touch on, and that is obviously the problems that are happening between Russia and Ukraine, which, are caused by Russia. So yeah, we do need to get behind Ukraine, obviously, and it was quite emotional to see, Zinchenko and Mykolenko before the game, almost in tears at one point, and and also there's the news that Roman Abramovich has I don't know what sort of happened with it, but seems to be he's given over control of the club to some sort of Chelsea charity supporters group or something, because of obviously apparently he's a big part of, well, not a part of it, but a big enabler in Vladimir Putin's plans or something. I'm not an expert on this, as you can probably tell, but yeah, anyway, Man City beat Everton. They probably got quite lucky. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.